You don't have to wait anymore to talk about it.
Hello and welcome to Onesies, a podcast of onesies and wonders and blunders. My name is Andrew,
My name is Emily.
and we are back discussing 2001's CW sitcom, Raising Dad.
We sure are.
So, we're going to be talking about two episodes, A Kiss is Still a Kiss and Home Plates. Oh, I get it.
Episodes 17 and 18. So we are 4 episodes away from being done. That's 2 recordings of this podcast, Andrew.
It is
So
very
close.
exciting. Oh, wow.
It gets worse.
Oh, good. By the way, I bet you didn't know this, but Jared is still working.
No, yeah, I did. I saw when I looked when he first popped up.
Okay, so wow, poor Evan didn't really. Okay, anyway, so Kiss is Still a Kiss is this also the band episode?
Yeah, this is the band
No,
episode. So
no, I quit. I'll
a
be
couple of
back. Tell
things.
me when you're done.
Couple of things happen in this episode. We can get through this really quickly. We open at the school in the teacher's lounge, presumably, where Liz is.
We do not. We open with a cute thing where they're harassing a telemarketer.
Oh, that's right. They did this cold open where the whole family's in the kitchen. You're right. I forgot about that. That was so cute. They are in the kitchen, the whole family. They hand the phone down the line. Each one of them has their own little bit that they're going to do to try to get the telemarketer off the line. Uh, Matt says something like, "Oh, you have to talk to the lady of the house," and hands the phone off to his dad, who affects a lady-ish voice, and hands it to Sarah, who says something I don't even remember, who hands it to Emily, who says, "All right, we'll buy whatever you're selling if you buy 36 boxes of Girl Scout cookies." At which point the telemarketer has hung up. Gunug. Um, then the wonderful theme song, and we cut to
No.
the teacher's lounge where Liz is crying to Matt about her boyfriend having broken up with her.
Yes.
It was unexpected. It was out of the blue. This is where we kind of discover that Liz is like a family friend. There's been really no mention of it before, except the Paget Brewster character was a friend of the family, friend of the mom who had passed away.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering if it's the same character.
Did Paget Brewster's character have a name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, yes. But
So now she's upset. She's got to go to her high school roommate, or excuse me, her college roommate's wedding, and she doesn't have a date. And then for some reason, Sarah comes into the teacher's lounge
to give Matt either his phone or his
wallet that he left at home. And she interjects like, "Well, obviously, Dad, you're going to take her to the wedding. Like, you can't leave Liz. She's a family friend. You can't leave her in a
Mom's
lurch."
best friend.
Yeah. Again, the only indication of this we've ever had. And Matt agrees to take her.
Yes.
And I forget what the B plot is, that Sarah now works at the bookstore / juice bar.
You mean Pulp and Fiction?
Pulp and Fiction. And she has booked Evan's band to play there to try to impress the boss.
Yes, who we never meet.
Who we never meet.
Except then it turns out that Evan's singer has left the band.
Yeah.
And moved back to Wisconsin. And he neglected to tell Sarah because he
Is
is a
dumb.
dummy, which will come
Yeah.
back next episode big time.
Yeah.
Um, I did we have Andy Kindler come in at the end of the scene in the break room?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just
So
remember his classroom scene.
he gets another classroom showcase. So last episode of the podcast, not of Raisin Dad, I was talking about how we had seen like this Kindler highlight when he was lecturing on the glory of math, and we hadn't seen anything from him since. Maybe not even either they had him around and they weren't using him for anything, or he wasn't in the episode. So this
Yeah.
episode answers that question when they have him do it again. It's
Yeah.
not as long because it doesn't fit into the A plot, but he has this whole bit where he's going around talking to the kids, being funny, and it's wonderful. Does it
Mm-hmm.
make up for the fucking singing that Emily tried to subject me to before I scrambled in the dark like a frightened ferret to turn it off?
Aw.
But we'll get to that. The torture, because it gets worse. I thought it was bad, but then it gets worse.
Yeah.
Um,
It's pretty bad.
so,
We cut to the living room, and Dad
yeah,
comes downstairs wearing a suit. He's all
looking,
dressed up for the
yes,
wedding.
that's right.
And then Liz rings the doorbell, and she's in a bridesmaid's gown, which is much prettier than all the bridesmaids gowns I've ever seen, except it's like peach, which just reminds me of the 80s, but whatever. It looks good. And Matt is sort of agog at how beautiful Liz looks. And they go off to the wedding.
Does he make his dance? Yes, he does. He
He
does his
does.
dancing things. So,
He does.
good old Bob Saget was like, hey, who's gonna love to hear me do some of my Ebonics bit? The black lady who's not even in the opening titles. What? Hey, Tim Allen would have showed her his dick. So hopefully Bob Saget didn't do that. So yeah, and Grandpa's in on what there's a dancing thing too. It's I think the jive talking is actually in the teacher's lounge in front of Sarah. So it's just like
I don't remember the jive talking.
it's two separate things, or it's at the
Okay.
same time, but
I remember
whatever.
the Will Smith reference, but I don't remember jive talking.
Not like the Bee Gees song, but like just the Ebonics,
Okay.
just his bit. Like, how do you want to describe his bit?
Again, the only thing I remember is he's like, I can get jiggy with it, and he starts kind of doing some weird dance.
Another bit.
I don't remember it. I just remember
Anyway,
the
maybe
getting jiggy with it.
during
Na
the
na na na
breakup
na na na.
talk. Anyway, so they leave, and then do we go to? So we probably skipped some of Sarah's subplot because it's
It's
kind of
really sparse.
she's gonna ask Olivia to sing, but then but she has to like beg Olivia to sing to like flatter her to do it. They
Yeah,
then meet at the is that when they have the thing where she's yelling at Evan to that he can't to stop being such a diva and go to practice, and the punchline is
maybe.
it's Evan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so then they go to practice at the Pulp and Fiction, and Evan has brought Jared, who has agreed to be the lead singer. Jared does a one line sound check and declares everybody ready for him and leaves. Olivia is very upset at Kat Dennings. And so Jared's like, you need to make a choice. And Olivia says the same thing. And we fade out on Olivia and Kat Denning, or on Sarah Kat Dennings.
yeah.
So this whole time, since we've started talking about this episode, a couple episodes ago, actually, I've been wondering if we were going to have the budget of a wedding reception. Nope. Much like last episode's camper discussion, we have the back of a limo budget for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. They spent all their budget on the pulp and fiction set.
Yeah, they really did because we there's a lot of it and we don't see
Yeah.
much of it. We don't use much of it, and there are no
Right.
other employees who get paid to talk. Um,
Mm-mm.
so Matt and Liz are in the back of the limo. They're having some champagne. Um,
Talking about what a fun night it was, how great. I think Liz thanks him for coming, and they have this awkward moment where their talk gets a little bit slower as they get closer to each other, and then they end up kissing. And
yes,
then cut to we at some point Matt says something like, I should go inside. We realize he's sitting in his driveway, in the limo, in the driveway. And
that is. Well, we don't know where Kat Dennings is walking, I guess.
and Kat Dennings walks up, sees them kissing, is horrified, and walks away.
Okay. Next day, um, I think we open on Jared talking to Kat Dennings at her locker because we have a locker
Mm-hmm.
set now. We are really just like Saved by the Bell season 4. They got that sweet, sweet Swedish dub syndication money and they're just building some sets. Okay, so Jared's like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Did you decide who you're hiring or something like that? And she's like, I've got bigger problems, Jared. My dad was making out with a lady. And does she tells him it's the vice principal, right? Or
I
doesn't
think
she?
so. I think so.
If she does, it's the only time Jared doesn't talk about it to bring it back later. Okay, so then we cut to Bob Saget talking to Kindler about it.
But not
Um,
using her name.
not using her name, not saying she's a coworker either, just a family friend.
And then this is where we have Kindler being a little bit problematic and sort of slut shaming this woman who he doesn't even know who it is. Um, I don't know. He calls her a hussy or something. I don't know.
Yes. So Saget is not seems that he is not romantically interested despite the
Yeah.
kiss. But Kindler is offering contrary opinions for the benefit of teasing Saget.
Right.
We then cut to Kindler like going into the break room, seeing Liz. Does he need like orange juice or something? What is he going
Her
in getting?
milk, I don't remember.
Something. Like
And I mean it's if the flimsiest of premises and starts just spilling the beans. Oh, Matt made out with some hussy in the back of a limo.
he's gonna dump her,
I'm he's gonna dump her and I'm coaching him through it.
to which he
And
then leaves.
Liz is
Yes.
big
Liz
mad.
is mad, and then he leaves, and does Sarah come in
Yeah.
after this, or does she
Yeah.
come in before? I think she might come in before it.
Well, Sarah comes in also, whether before or after, and is like, keep your hands off my dad.
Yep.
And she's like, what? Sarah's like, I don't like it.
To
And
which Liz says, "Stay out of my business,"
yeah,
being the last bit of real agency Liz will have in the episode. Which is something we were very worried about.
I don't know. I mean, I think that her resolution is actually her showing a lot of agency.
We'll see when we get there because I don't
Yeah.
remember it because of the trauma that you intentionally put me through because you've watched ahead. It's
I
not
haven't
like
watched ahead.
you'd seen this one before, have
No, I
you?
hadn't. No.
Okay, fine. Before I watched it last night. When did you watch it? What time?
Yesterday morning, I think.
So you could have told me. You could have warned me. You could have warned me. Listener,
Sorry.
Emily is ignoring me right now,
Yeah.
probably to play a video game.
No, I didn't play a video game.
Okay. Okay, so then we cut home because, as I realized, we are not showing Bob Saget teaching anymore,
Yeah.
potentially because somebody was finally like, they're always either about his students sexually harassing a woman, or he's mocking Evan's seeming lack of intelligence. Okay, so, but then Saget's at home and Liz comes over and is like,
This is where she has some agency. She's like, why are you talking about me? Why are you
yes.
calling me a hussy? Why do people think we're having a relationship? And like that has no, I have no interest in that. And I have no interest in dealing with this drama. So leave me alone.
And then they resolve that they'll just be friends. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a little bit of agency, but it's not,
But
it's very
she takes the bull by the horns and is just like, stop this. Let's stop this right now.
yeah, maybe, but then she's acting opposite Saget. So
Um,
it's it's like she's acting opposite a piece of wood, just like a bobbing piece of wood. Bob from Castaway gave a better performance than Bob Saget.
what's his name? Bob?
No, that was the fucking beach ball, I think, that he fucking
Was
befriends.
was I don't think it was
I never
Bob.
saw it. I never saw Castaway.
I never saw it either. I
If
knew what you were talking about, but I don't think it's Bob.
Okay, listener, if you would like Emily and I to do a podcast about Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks collaborations, we will require a Patreon.
Let's do a Robert Zemeckis podcast where we just watch Zemeckis movies. Only because I want to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit again.
We could come up with a better reason to do that.
Okay.
Okay. Are you looking up the name of the volleyball?
Yes. Wilson.
Anyway, Wilson?
Wilson. Wilson from the Wilson sports equipment stuff.
Um,
They make like balls, basketballs. Okay, sorry.
I, I know, but also how imaginative. What a fine Oscar nominated screenplay that must have been. My soul is deprived from not having seen that. Sorry, do you want to talk about Moonstruck? Moving on. He then goes and confronts Emily. No, Sarah. We've missed Emily's subplot, which we will get back
Mm.
to, and
It's again very, very light.
it's very light, but it's also
Not executed well.
not that's a nice way of putting it. I'm not really liking 11-year-old Emily, to be quite frank. I
Hmm.
feel like in the back nine, the changes they're making to her, where she basically just wants to be a stand-up comic, but like not inspired by Lenny Bruce or something. She's inspired apparently also by, which we'll find out next episode, Grandpa wanted to be an
Yeah.
entertainer, which is just like, why is this in here? And
Yeah.
it's like Jerry Adler said that if he was going to be a shitty dad to that dumb girl, he needed to get more backstory. Like, so we'll get there in a second because we're almost done, I think.
Yeah.
They talk. Sarah's like, I thought I was okay with this. I'm not. We've had this exact same conversation before, at least once. Like literally, this same scene has happened before.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
we're maybe another time too, but at least once.
Jared,
And
where Jared talks her into letting
yeah,
her dad date so they can fuck in the basement. Yeah.
yep. Don't worry, Jared is apparently has forgotten his romantic interest in her next episode. We'll find out, as has Sarah, because I was gonna say make some like superhero reference for the universe resetting, but Emily wouldn't have gotten it. It's like when Jar Jar Binks farted and George Lucas recut Return of the Jedi or something. I don't know what the Star Wars whatever is. Midichlorians. Okay, so stupid.
They
The
decide about the band
Oh God, that's right. So
that Jared and Olivia are going to sing together, like some kind of competition, and have the crowd determine who the new lead singer should be.
right, but then when we actually get there, Emily is going to be doing the opening act. She prepares a bunch of material. Will not tell any of that material. Instead, we'll tell one
One joke.
bad joke and then
One like
introduce
joke book
everybody.
joke. One
Yeah,
joke book joke.
just nothing. It's really weird. Like Jerry Adler's laughing at it doesn't even play, and Jerry
Mm-mm.
Adler can fake finding people on the show amusing, as we'll talk about next episode. Um, so then I think Sarah and Emily talk for a second, right? Don't they have a moment?
I don't remember.
Okay, I thought maybe they talked about Sarah being like, it wasn't okay with dad making out with Liz.
I don't think
She
Emily ever
doesn't?
found out
Okay.
that that happened.
Okay. Well, I'm remembering the show better than it was. Okay, so Jared's like, actually, Olivia, you can just sing. I don't need to compete with you because I'm better than you are. And she's like, I bet I can out sing you or something. She's like, coward or something. And he's
Yeah.
like, fine, then we'll sing together. And it's just like,
They sing a
cool.
duet.
We
I don't
needed that 17-second interaction to pad the episode. We couldn't do another establishing shot in a show that has I get 7 establishing shots, like so many.
yeah.
Um, and then they sing some duets, and it's terrible.
It's terrible to our ears, but in the world of this show, people are cheering.
Okay, and I'm sure both actors, agents were just like, sign them up for the record deal. See what we got here. And no, I told Emily that she was making me watch High School Musical, but less talented, which is what she did. Thank you, Emily.
This was your pick, by the way.
Pressured me into it with the promise of celebrity in our
Well,
lives.
we can talk about that after.
Well, okay.
Then everybody's happy, the end. Both plots are resolved, the end. Right?
Oh, I don't know.
You turned it off.
I scrubbed and I didn't
Okay.
see. I think it ends with a fade out in the club or something. I don't think there's anything else going on because Liz isn't there.
No,
Like, right. So yeah, they're just everybody. Oh, what a great job. Okay. Next episode opens with another cold open, which is I don't remember. I just know there is one.
I don't remember it off the
Board
top of my head
game?
either.
No, they play a board game at night, but there is a cold open to the next episode as well.
I literally
Um,
just watched it. I can't believe I can't remember.
wow. Well, I picked the good shows. Did I pick Dracula the series or did you?
I might have picked Dracula the
I like
series.
told you about it, so I like opened the
Yeah.
cursed item, but yes. Okay, so first scene after the credits is Grandpa coming back in from
He's in a suit.
early.
He's got a scarf on, maybe a hat that he takes off, and a plastic bag. He has been to a funeral early in the morning. Why so early? Asks Emily. Well, because he was a morning person. And then there's a little
Born
funny
in
little
a morning person.
wordplay. Yeah, boo. And they discover that Grandpa has been gifted by the dearly departed the man's ashes. Talk about him, Harry, is that his name?
Harry.
And he used to work with Grandpa at Fenway Park. There's like all this history. As I don't know if he was a baseball player or another
They
scout.
were both scouts together, but they both played. They both had their like tryout on Fenway together
Okay,
and both
gotcha.
washed out and ended up as scouts, which, if we remember to talk about, is a life-defining moment for Gramps, who, last 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago, we had basically defined as being an absentee dad. So, oh wait, no, he does blame Saget for ruining his dreams. That's
Yeah,
right. I
yeah.
mean, no lies detected. Anyway, um, so they basically Grandpa's going to talk about going to bed a lot this episode, which is really confusing because
It
so
seems to
he
be the middle of the day.
it right. So it's got to be on a weekend because the girls are around, but I swear we cut. Do we cut to school? Yes, because there's a whole fucking This actually is like the best constructed episode of the series in terms of the subplots because it joins Emily to Kat Denning's subplot in a
Hmm.
significant way.
She, by the way, does some great background acting in this
She,
episode.
last episode, we did not talk about how,
The cold open. She is Emily is playing a southern waitress named Flo,
yes,
and going through a little skit with the family about what
yes,
food they want, what's on offer, how it's cooked, that type of thing. That's the cold open
yes,
because it leads into the subplot.
yes. It's really weird when, well, I mean, she's doing Flow, but she's basically doing last time's guest star, Deanna Carter, when she's
Uh,
like, gee, Sarah, are you gonna feel bad when I have an Academy Award and everybody you used to work with makes fun of you? And it's just this really weird, prescient moment in the show from Academy Award winner Brie Larson. This episode has the great Brie Larson that we have been missing. This
yeah,
episode is the best episode of the series, despite there not being Andy Kindler.
yeah,
And despite Ben Indra being so obnoxious, you could actually grab his crew cut. You would do the work to
yeah,
grab him by the head and drag him out back.
yeah.
There's a lot of problematic stuff in it overall with the teens dating, which we'll get to, but he's in the opening titles.
Hmm.
Did he even show up last two times last
I don't
episode?
think so. No.
Yeah, and he wasn't in the first episode, so we've been very confused. But and then we realized it was just that he gets it's his turn because Megan Good quit, and there's room for one of the teen
Mm.
friends, so it's his turn. That's how SAG works, baby. I didn't read Entertainment Weekly for nothing. Okay. So Sarah goes to school after having a talk with Grandpa in the living room. I think school just starts at 10:45. I think that just solves most of this. Um so Grandpa is like staring at the urn that he has been left with because his friend Harry said he'd know what to do with it, and he has
Yeah,
no idea what to do with it.
there was a letter attached to the urn. I don't know.
Something.
Whatever.
Yeah. And so he's like talking to Harry. Sarah's getting not concerned, but the diet, like she could have played it more concerned, but like
Yeah.
she's just like, gee, Grandpa, what's going on right now? And then Bob Saget comes in and maybe tells her to go to school or get ready or something.
I
Maybe,
don't
but
know.
he
Tells Emily
interrupts
definitely
them.
tells Emily to go in the kitchen. No, that's later.
That's
That's
the other
Sarah.
episode too. They talk about that in the other episode. We get one Emily getting sent away, and it's to talk about kissing Liz because we didn't talk about Grandpa and Bob Saget talking about kissing Liz last episode, but I think
Yeah.
that happened. Okay, so but basically Saget talks to Grandpa, and do we come up with the plot right away?
Yeah.
God, who
There's
wrote this episode? Like,
there's talk of how Harry and Grandpa used to talk about climbing Mount Everest, and now he's an old man and he can't do it. But Saget's like, well, you could make your own Everest. We could walk to Fenway. You could carry his ashes there. It's a meaningful place for the both of you. And, you know, you could spend some time with him, get some closure there. And Grandpa's like, I'm going to bed. Goes up the stairs, and Matt's like, wait, what, why are you doing this? You have to face this and, get over it. And Grandpa says, well, if we're walking to Fenway, I gotta have energy.
with my sonny boy.
Yeah.
This episode's writers are Jimmy Alec and Jim Kelly, not that Jim Kelly. They
Hmm.
have not worked, they do not have IMDb credits after 2008. They worked on Grace Under Fire,
Mm.
and their last thing they worked on was According to Jim. and they were a duo. And
Hey,
looks
hey,
like they
Andrew,
what
who died and made Jim Belushi a star?
was it? John Belushi? Was it John Belushi? Was it? We could talk about some business there. The Aykroyd kids are trying, and the fucking. Did you see the Blues
Yeah,
Brothers comic
yeah,
book?
yeah.
Okay. Dan Aykroyd. Man has shameless Dan Aykroyd. Anyway, but these guys created Shasta McNasty. Do you remember that fucking show?
I
Like,
do.
is
Yep.
it more than one season? I wonder. But bump. Okay, so Sarah and her friends are at school talking about the latest thing in the world, which is dinner
Dinner
parties.
parties.
Everybody wants to have a dinner party. It's what's hip right now. I don't know. 2002. Um, this show, the CW has no, it's bearing on pop culture is about it the same as Saved by the Bell. So, um, it's not like they're following somebody doing this. They're just like reading a newspaper or maybe like a magazine.
Yeah,
I think probably like, but we don't like even talk about what magazine it is. It's not like they're like Mademoiselle Teen or something. And clearly Kat Dennings never read who are the badasses? Is it Teen Vogue who just has no fucking
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Kat Dennings never read Teen Vogue. Okay, so but Brie Larson did. So hopefully with Jerry Adler, which would have been just adorable as they get radicalized to reality. Um, would have been miserable, is what I'm saying, if this show had gone on 12 years. Okay, so then they're gonna have a dinner party, they're gonna have dates. Now, the stupidest thing is the dates. The way they set that up is Kat Dennings is like, everybody's like, we're gonna have a dinner party. I'm gonna dress so nice. We're gonna have a nice dinner. We're gonna be so grown up, aren't we? La di da and shit. And then Kat Dennings is like, you guys, it says you have to do it with couples. And then they're all like, oh, well, I guess we could try that. And we get Evan tricking Olivia into going with him, but not really.
It's hard to
Um,
tell if he's like just being stupid or if he's using his stupidity to manipulate her.
right, but no, because we'll get to it when we get there. But also, Olivia has been defanged. She is
Yeah,
not wearing I love bad boys anymore. She's not talking about men. She doesn't have a boyfriend or a love interest or any like anything going on.
yeah.
So oh God, does okay, so Josh is gonna ask out that fucking prep girl that we met the other time, played by Courtney Heldon, who is god awful, but I don't know that anybody, I mean, it's bad writing. She was on the Adventures in Babysitting pilot.
Mm.
Anyway, so he goes up and like asks her out, not seeming to be able to read the her not read the signs. He's
She's pretty explicit.
he's explicit in how much he disgusts her, which he's just like, huh, guess I just better try harder. So when Josh has been gone, he suffered some brain damage, basically, is what we're seeing here. Or he's
But
on some
but
amazing SSRIs.
because this happened the first time we met the blonde, where he was
Yeah.
doing almost the exact same thing, not taking no for an answer. So I don't think he has suffered brain damage because he was exactly like this with this girl that one time before.
Was that
He's
okay? So yeah. I
and he's
thought for
just he
some reason
can't
I thought that was more recent.
he just cannot take no for an answer. It's
But
very
not
gross.
it's gross, but it's also like it's not he's not being predatory. It's just this obnoxious character trait. Like we will now then get to hear him talk about her the rest of the episode.
Yeah,
And she's hideous. She gets, spoiler, thrown out of the dinner party for being a piece of shit.
yeah.
Peckerwood. Okay. See, I knew I could use it. I knew I could use that word. Peckerwood. It's back, y'all.
Old man.
Okay, so she then goes up and asks Jared. And this is where we get, or Sarah then goes and asks Jared after we have the creeper scene with not creeper, but just obnoxious. And just by the end of the scene, it's clear that whatever's happened to Josh in the writer's room is not going to be something we enjoy
Yeah.
because they've removed the homophobic references and turned him into a um whatever this is like
Yeah.
a yeah a mooning whatever. So Sarah goes up, asks Jared is thrilled to be invited, but before Sarah goes over, she and Olivia talk about how Jared only thinks about her as a friend, but after he accepts, she is just like, oh my God, he likes me again. Or he likes me, not he likes me again. The
Right.
thing, so like Sarah has been a little defanged too,
Hmm.
right? We actually had to have a 3-minute conversation on the podcast once upon a time about how far Sarah implied she'd gone with a boy that we'd
Yeah.
never met, meaning that it had happened before the show.
Don't worry, it'll come back.
Why why do you tell me these things? Why did you
I
watch ahead?
didn't watch ahead. I read ahead.
Oh, we can't
I can
trust
read.
those. We can't trust these. They said Andy Kindler's in this episode. He's not in this episode. Okay, so we cut home. Maybe Grandpa and Dad are getting prepped. Grandpa might go upstairs to bed again or something when it's light out. I don't know. But we get a scene about how Sarah has gotten Emily to agree to do the whole catering and cleaning up of the dinner party because Emily wants the experience. Because
Yes.
Emily is cool. Um, and played
Thank
by
you.
Academy Award winner Brie Larson.
Oh, that one. I thought you were talking about me.
I mean,
Okay.
you're cool too.
Yay. Thank you.
There you go. Okay. And so much less problematic than Brie Larson. So, I mean, she's a hero, but she does fucking do army movies. Okay. So then Bob Saget comes in and is like, hey, I just realized you can't have your dinner party. Grandpa and I are going to be gone. Walking
Yeah.
to Fenway. And Sarah's like, hey, let me have my fucking dinner party, you asshole. I'm responsible.
Yeah.
And he's like,
So we're redoing this conversation, rehaving this conversation. Like, I'm trustworthy. I'm not gonna fuck up. I'm a good kid. Come on, let me do it. And then he's like, okay. And Emily, again, a funny line. She says something like, besides, I'm here to rat her out if she does anything wrong.
exactly,
It
right?
was very,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
it was very cute.
So then the Fenway walk is gonna end at is gonna start when they're done with the walk.
Yeah.
Um, the dinner party is going to start when the majority of the guests arrive. Emily does not get any time, like a kitchen subplot with something going wrong that she has to fix. Like, no, it's just we cut to the dinner party.
She is,
Um,
however, doing some amazing background acting,
yes.
setting the table, bringing the
Mhm.
food out, just like better acting than anything happening in the foreground.
Yeah, but she keeps calling in, I'm gonna have an Oscar, bitches, and it's really awkward.
Yeah.
Um, God, this poor cast. Like, anyway. Um, I mean, they weren't that nice to her. It's not like any of the murder movies. Okay, so moving on. They didn't like make friendships for life or anything, clearly. Okay. I just want to make fun of the actors, but that's not what we're doing. We're then talking about how who gets there first?
It's
Olivia and Evan.
Evan and Olivia, yeah.
Evan and Olivia get there. He's done something stupid. There's a laughing about it, but basically he like disappears over and Olivia hangs out with Sarah. Josh gets there with his date. We did establish earlier that Josh did find a date. He asked Erin, a new character we're meeting for the first time. She,
She looked familiar.
I mean, I don't know what you watch when we're not watching onesies. I'm like, watching four onesies. So, but if anybody wants to go look up what this actor has been in, it'd be really funny because we could be like, Emily's favorite movie is The Hillside Strangler 2004. And,
So
I'm
anyway, back
so
to the dinner
distracted right
party.
now.
I
So
know,
distracted.
Jesus.
Okay, so back to the dinner party. Josh gets there, the girl gets there, she's a big dummy. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Oh,
whoop,
there's
whoop.
there's a joke about Josh calling her Evan and then going Aaron because she acts just like
Evan. She
Evan.
doesn't want to give Kat Dennings her coat because what if she'll need it when she leaves? It's bad. Okay, so just because I said these guys had a good structure didn't mean I didn't think they hated women. Like, okay, because they do, and we'll get to so much of it so soon. Um, but then Jared shows up. Emily is or Sarah is so excited. I think she like might jump up and down and be like, "My date's here, Prince Charming." But he's brought
The
the
mean blonde girl.
mean girl. He brought preppy mean girl.
Allison? Is that her name?
Um,
I think it is.
it is. And Josh will like see it from across the room and have conniptions at the meeting
Yeah.
because he sincerely believes his fantasies because he's a psychopath and he just hasn't fucking made his first kill yet.
Yeah.
I wonder if that guy ever went on to play a serial killer on Criminal Minds or Criminal Minds Toronto or something. Okay, so we cut to Dad and Bob Saget get into Fenway. There's a guard who does not want to let them into Fenway. Saget tries to bribe the guy. It doesn't go anywhere.
No, it
Then
does. He offers his meatball sandwich from Fat Sal's or whatever.
Saget offers him cash. It's Grandpa who's like, "What about those subs?"
No, the guy's like, "Oh, are those Fat Sal subs?" And he's like, "Yeah," and hands him the bag, and that's how they get in. Grandpa has nothing to do with it,
But Grandpa encourages it once it's clear the guy likes fat sows.
or whatever it is. It's not Fat Sal's. That's just a local thing the only thing I could think of.
Okay. We just lie to the audience. We just,
I know,
the journalistic integrity of onesies is now,
tarnished.
yes.
I
Um,
apologize. Also, the actor who plays Aaron, high into High School Musical, which you mentioned about last episode. She's Ashley Tisdale's sister.
I saw
That's
that,
why that's why I recognized her.
but I don't know who that is.
She's in
Um,
High School Musical.
okay. I've never actually seen High School
Neither
Musical.
have I.
Okay. Um, the guy, oh, that's why I recognize him because I just watched Harlem Nights. The guard is played by Vic Polozos,
Mm.
who is a familiar face. If you were around in the 80s. Anyway, he then agrees to let them in for 10 minutes in exchange for the subs. We cut back to the dinner party. Josh is bereft. I believe, do they put on the music? Yes, because Emily's the
Hmm.
one who is mature enough to stop the disasters. But they put on music, and immediately Jared starts dancing with Allison, upsetting Sarah,
Also upsetting Josh.
also upsetting Josh, who I believe is over by himself, glaring across the room because
So what?
Evan and Aaron are
Making a connection,
bonding.
making a dumb connection.
I wasn't even going to
Um,
be mean. You were just so mean. Wow.
um, Olivia notices that it is talking to Sarah, recognizes that she's upset, and puts her mind to fixing the situation. Goes over to Josh, sees that he's upset, and encourages Josh to shoot his shot again. So now she's complicit. But um he goes to the CD player, changes the CD to some more upbeat music, starts dancing,
Yeah,
gesticulating wildly near Allison, and then asks her to join him. Jared is got a weird reaction and is just sort of like, be my guest, and like walks away, kind of mad. I couldn't quite tell what I was supposed to be seeing. But talks to Sarah. Um, what do they talk about? She's not being again explicit that she's upset that he brought another date.
Yeah. We
I
get
don't remember what they
interrupted by
talk about though.
dinner very quickly.
Yeah,
So we cut to the dinner, or we cut to Emily announcing dinner's ready, saving everyone from awkwardness. Emily might interrupt Jared going to talk to Sarah and it
maybe.
upsetting Sarah because then she doesn't get to talk to Jared.
Yeah.
Um, so then we cut back to the stadium where Dad and Grandpa are on the run because Bob Saget ate the subs on the way, which Grandpa didn't notice, which seems a little concerning.
A meatball sub consuming while
Two
you're
of them.
walking
Two of them.
and you
Okay.
don't notice. That's
Yes.
very weird.
So Saget goes on his own because Sam is getting tired.
He
Um,
hides behind a hot dog cart.
and Saget runs on, and then we discover the guard is on a scooter, which Saget mocks.
Not
Uh,
a an electric scooter either, folks. A push foot scooter.
so, we then cut back to yeah, because the roof is a very long scene. We cut back
Yeah.
to the party. Jared finds Allison in the kitchen pouring Saget's brandy. Jared's like, what the hell are you doing? Now, there's a moment here where Jared
Could do the right thing.
could do the right thing, and it's even set up that he will. He will not, and he'll get excused for the behavior because it's before the year. Hold on, let me look. I can actually find the year that the CW decided this kind of shit wasn't okay. It was the year 2017 when the CW, the descendant of the WB, addressed the fact that having Supergirl's love interest in season 2 be a fucking um, sexually predatory bro who is a hero character
Gross.
colonizing. Just yeah, they actually just are like, well, that was really fucked up what we did last season, right? 2017, and we still see it here, 16 years, 15 years earlier. So
Yeah.
obviously, okay. So Sarah's like, dude, it's a dry party. This is fucking stupid. Allison's like, you seem like a shitty square. Are you really going to be a shitty square? And Sarah's like, I am a woman of Christ. I don't think I'm being a shitty square. You should get out of here. I will make Tim Allen proud. But actually, it's Kat Dennings isn't good in the scene, and the scene isn't well written,
Yeah.
but it is Sarah not kowtowing to the peer pressures she has before. So
Right.
it's pretty cool. Um, she's been rewarded for this character development with more obnoxious friends, but that's a different matter. Um, Allison's like, well, fine, I'm leaving, or she gets kicked out, and then
Yeah.
Jared goes with. But there is at least two opportunities for Jared to do the right thing.
I think at one time he says, "Let's go. Let's just go out and have dessert. Put this away.
Yeah,
Let's go have dessert." And she's like, "No, blah 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 blah. I thought you were cool." And then he's like, "Come on, Sarah. Well, just let us have a drink."
yeah,
And so he gives in almost immediately.
yep. Got no backbone. Um, for somebody he does not seem to like at all.
Yeah.
um, which is interesting, or would be in a better show. So I don't think we follow them out or anything. Like, I don't think we get a reaction from the rest of the house, do we?
Mm-mm.
So then we don't, like, for example, see Josh's reaction to any.
Right.
I think everybody's done with that. So we then come back to Fenway, where Grandpa has climbed up on the roof where he's going to meet Bob Saget. Also, where he and his friend went after they got their slips that they weren't making it. This is where they went and had their talk about going to Mount Everest. We didn't talk about it, but the reason Grandpa didn't go to Mount Everest is because Bob Saget was
was born.
conceived.
Yeah. Ruined his
His
hopes and dreams.
dream. Yep. Which
So
is
they have a
funny because why would he not resent Bob Saget? Because we learned last episode that
he
Sam is
resented the
actually
sister.
is a resentful piece of shit.
Yeah.
Actually, is what we a manipulative, resentful piece of shit. But that's gone. This is now going to be a lovely scene where he and Bob Saget unable to act, but appreciating Jerry Adler doing the work for the scene
Yeah.
about the dead friend, remembering, spreading ashes, and I think we
They
seeing the
drink.
city,
Yeah, they do some fucking
worst
helicopter shot.
helicopter shot
Ugh.
ever cut in. Like the auto car should have zoomed
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
They have the beer that Saget had made fun of earlier, and it tastes like crap, just like Saget thought it would. But Grandpa now understands that because he's not tinged by nostalgia, but he still appreciates it because he's had this beautiful moment, sincere, authentic moment with his son,
Yeah.
and done in a way to pay tribute to his friend that is meaningful to him. Which is lovely. We then
Lovely.
cut to the house where
Emily's cleaning up.
and
All
Sarah's
the
watching
guests have
her.
left, and
Yes.
maybe Sarah is having a conversation with her. I don't know. She's also in the living room, and the doorbell rings, and it is Jared.
Yes.
And does he apologize?
Does he
I don't know.
actually apologize or does he say, hey?
I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
what happens is Sarah is immediately resentful and launches into, well, did you bring a date? And Jared realizes that Sarah was jealous of him having brought the other girl. And they have the conversation that they do have is, I'm a guy, I'm dumb. You can't beat around the bush. You have to be like forward and forthcoming. And Sarah's like, okay, I'll do that. I'm going to go clean now. And he says, do you need help cleaning up? And she's like, I guess I'll just do it myself. And he's like, okay, bye. And she's shocked. And then you hear Emily from the background go, you should have been more forthcoming, like, or more clear, or whatever it is. It was kind of funny for Emily, but the scene was itself was not resolved very well. Um, um, but
Did
they,
Mr. Emily want to contribute that monologue on the socialization of young women through pop culture, 1947 through 2007, or did he turn that down?
he's going to record it. I'll edit it and we'll put it out. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Mr. Emily worked in radio in the 30s, so this is going to be a real treat for everyone. Okay. We then cut to so the other thing that I actually, as I said, this is with bad acting, terrible writing, grossness, easily the best episode of the show.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Emily
incredible.
had a Emily had a good showcase. I mean, Kat Dennings wasn't great, but she wasn't
She
terrible.
wasn't terrible. It
Her
wasn't,
friends suck, but there was nice heartwarming scenes with Dad
yeah.
and Grandpa.
And we then get this as close again as this show's ever gotten to like truly delightful, partly because Bob Saget can't act. Kat Dennings and Kat Dennings had told Emily about how great the food was, and
Yeah.
somebody else told Emily that too. So one of the other teenagers, I believe. So like, there's like this really cool positive enforcement of
Yeah.
this. Also, I would imagine Academy Award winner Brie Larson cooked them a nice spread so they didn't have to lie either. Academy Award winners, they can do lots. There's some things they can't do, but they can do lots. I didn't really have a bit there. I just was, I don't know. Okay. So then, but they're hanging out afterwards. They're playing a board game of some kind that I couldn't recognize from the angle. Maybe it was weird looking. It looked like a T with chess pieces on it, but they weren't chess pieces.
Hmm.
Grandpa and Dad get back. The girls chide them for being out late
And
and
not
messy,
calling.
not calling. They all, which is also another thing because Saget told Sarah he was going to call her every half hour. They have a whole bartering scene over it, but he did not,
And he left his cell phone at the Subway shop, the Subway sandwich shop.
which
Um,
somehow the kids got in an incredible subplot because we don't know if in the back nine Sarah has a car to be driving.
yeah,
So maybe that mean neighbor lady we haven't ever seen again from next door took them.
maybe.
Or it was Megan Good. Okay, so the show's set in Boston.
Hmm.
Megan Good went to a different high school because all of the white kids were so racist. That's the reality of this.
Could very well be.
There you go. But it's just some fun little scene, and then there's like a couple one-liners from the kids, and that's it.
That's it. All right. So next week, oh, I got off on the wrong thing. You mentioned Harlem Nights, and I love that movie. It's been so long since I've seen it. Um,
Wait,
ne
wait a second. I'm sorry, no, I'm talking about the Eddie Murphy movie Harlem Nights.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah. So next week we'll be talking about
Wow.
episodes 19 and 20, The House of Stewart and Bully. Thank you for watching this week, Andrew. Thank you for listening, listener. And Andrew, I'll see you in television land.
See you in television land, Emily. Oh,